Namaste to all of you. Today I'm going to talk about superfood. In Ayurveda, we don't believe in good food and bad food. We believe only in complete food or incomplete food. So, complete food is supposed to be good, and incomplete food is not good for the body. So, what is that complete food? What it should be having to make it complete? So, Ayurveda says that, of course, you have to have carbohydrates, protein, fats, mineral, water, and not to forget what's very, very important, that is fibers. So, your food should be rich in fibers. And last years, we see that a lot of patients, they are advised not to take white bread, white chapati. They should not be having white rice. A lot of people, they are suffering from gluten intolerance, milk intolerance. So how come that half of our patients, they are advised not to take the food what we generally take as a staple food in whole world? Staple food is wheat, rice, and that is being advised not to take in a lot of diseases. What's the reason? First reason is that these are polished, these are refined, they are not containing any fibers. And if there is no fiber in the food, then what happens, that all that carbohydrates that goes in the body as a flood of energy. And when there is flood of energy in the body, our body can't cope with that much energy. If you keep on taking this type of food and body is flooding with that carbohydrate and sugar, our body can't cope with that much sugar, and then we can get lot of diseases because of that flood of energy in our body. And that flood of energy, flood of glucose in our blood, that can be stopped only with soluble fibers that should be in our food. That's why we say that carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals, vitamins, water, these are needed. But very, very important factor is that our food should be having soluble fibers and also insoluble fibers. Just to make it clear, it's a soluble fiber in the food what makes very, very slowly, gradually release of that sugar in the blood. And that makes your food very, very super. So superfood is what is rich in soluble fiber, what is highly nutritious. It should be having carbohydrate, it should be having protein, iron, all the vitamins it should be having, and it should be gluten free. You see a lot of people nowadays, they are getting problems with gluten, what we find in our grain like wheat. And it should be non-acidic, it should be soothing, it should be easy to digest, it should be least allergic. That makes it super. And it should be very, very low glycemic. So it means that there is not a peak of sugar in your blood. So these are qualities of the superfood. So your food should be having these all the properties, only then we can say it's a superfood. So we see in the practice that a lot of people with diabetes, obesity, they don't take rice and wheat. So we can say that this is not good for a lot of problems, because sugar and overweight, that is a cause of a lot of the problems. So then people go for different type of grains. These are bajra, jowar, what do you call that, sorghum. Bajra you call pearl millets. You have got finger millets, you have got corn, maize. So a lot of people, then they substitute their wheat and rice with this type of grains. So these are good, these are okay, but you have got better quality than this also. And better quality we can say only if it's having soluble fiber in a reasonable quantity. So therefore we have got foxtail millet. Foxtail millet, you have got little millet, you have got kodo millet, you have barnyard millet, and you have got brown top millet. So these are different type of grains. These are identified to be having a lot more soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. These both are important. So one should know more about this type of millets. So I'm going to talk about one by one. So very first one is foxtail millet. Foxtail millet, this is rich in proteins. This has got not only carbohydrate, but this has got also proteins. This is rich in fibers. This has got 8%. You see, if you compare with your wheat and rice, that's not having more than 1.5%. And that also, if it's policed, if it's refined, you won't get more than that in any case. So, but this foxtail has got 8% of the fibers. So that is very, very good in nervous problems, in nervous systems problem, in convulsion, in giddiness and vertigo. People having diseases like Parkinson, Alzheimer, diabetes, anorexia, and anemia. So this has got iron also. So very, very good millet. This can be taken on daily basis. People can make use of this in place of normal rice, of normal grain what nowadays we eat like wheat. So this is very good substitute for people suffering with nervous systems problems. And then you have got second millet, we call that kodo millet. Kodo millet, that's having 9% of the fibers. This has got very good quality to increase your hemoglobin. So it's good for all the problems of the blood. If there is cholesterol in the blood, if there is blockage because of the cholesterol in the heart arteries, it's a blood purifier, how you say. It's a very, very good bone marrow booster. So this cleans your bone marrow and this stimulates that to make more stem cells in our body. So I would rather say these are superfood than wheat and rice. So this has shown very, very good results. People suffering with allergies, asthma. So people suffering from allergies, asthma, thyroid problems, viral infections, viral fevers, throat problems, they should better use this kodo millet in place of normal rice and wheat. These millets are having taste like rice. So whensoever you mix with something, it will give taste of that. So it's very easy to substitute kodo in place of other type of grains. Then you have got third millet, what is supposed to be very, very good. That is little millet. Little millet in Hindi we say kutki. And it's being used for all hormonal problems, thyroid problems, liver problems. You see, kutki is also name of one herb what we use very, very much for liver problem. That is Picoriza curera. That is also kutki. So name of this millet is also kutki. It's by chance that both works on the same organs, same system. So for hormonal, liver and thyroid problem, one can take little millet. So then we have got fourth millet, that is barnyard millet. Barnyard millet, this is very, very good millet because this has got 10% of the fiber. I told you that foxtail has got 8%, kodo has got 9%, and this little millet has also got 9% or 10%. But this barnyard is having more than 10% of fibers. And these fibers are good and it works for all the liver problems, hepatitis, liver problems, bladder problems. So easy to replace with your normal food, what you are taking every day, like wheat and rice. Better use this barnyard millets. Then at last we have got very, rich in fiber. They have identified that is brown top millet. This has got more than 12%, 12.5% of fibers. And this 12.5% fiber, it speaks for itself. That is very, very good for people with GIT problems, with constipation, with piles, with fistula in ano. So all type of problems what are related to constipation, they should take this. So in fact, this brown top millet is good for all the problems starting from your mouth to your anus. All the GIT problems getting clean with this brown top millet. What you can also do, you can change use of these millets. So every millet you should be using at least for 2 days. If you have taken 6 to 7 meals with a typical millet, then it's going to work on that system or that organ. So for example, if you are using foxtail millet for 2-3 days, it has worked on your nervous system. If you have taken kodo millet for 2-3 days, so it has worked on your allergies, on your bone marrow system. So it's not good to take one meal with kodo, one meal with foxtail, one meal with brown top. So that way it won't be working sufficiently to clean or to stimulate one system. So better change this way that you are going to take for 2 days, 3 days, one type of millet. Now I would like to give you some practical informations. That is that because these millets are a rich source of fiber, so not everybody can digest that easily. So you have to make it workable. And a very simple tip is that you must soak these millets in water for at least 5 to 6 hours. So in morning you should soak in water and then in evening you can cook. If it is soaked in water for 5 to 6 hours, then it's very, very easy to digest. Otherwise, it's not that easily digestible. So second tip what I want to give you, that you must not wash it that roughly because it's having lignin in its fiber and lignin works anti-cancerous. These are anti-cancerous fibers and that is in the covering of the millets. So if you are going to rub it a bit roughly, so you are going to lose that. So you just wash it to take away the dust and things like that and leave it in water for 5 to 6 hours. And then if it's soaked well, then you can cook with that same water. And third tip what I want to give, you need little bit more water than rice to cook these millets. So in case of rice, like you take always 1 portion rice and 2 portion of water and then you cook it. But in case of this brown top and kodo and this type of millets, you have to have a little bit more water, let's say 2.5 to 3 times, and just do some practicals yourself. You will come to know that how much water you need. But don't forget to soak it in water. And that's going to make it really, really good superfood for you. So it's not only your food, but by doing this, you are going to heal your all that sick systems, diseased system, diseased organ. So they have found out that these millets, they work on different systems. And at the same time, these are rich source of nutrition, proteins, iron, vitamins. So it's complete food. So this I call superfood, what people should take on daily basis. So I hope that I could make my point clear. If there are questions, just let me know. I will try to clarify that. Thank you very much.